What's up, everyone? Welcome to Ashley Talks Movies, and welcome to my review of A House of Dynamite. This is the new movie from Kathryn Bigelow, who directed The Hurt Locker and Zero Dark 30, and is written by Noah Oppenheim, who wrote the script for the 2016 drama Jackie. A House of Dynamite follows the crisis that unfolds after an unattributed missile is launched at the United States. With the clock ticking and the fate of the world hanging in the balance, government officials, members of the military, and the president must make quick decisions to avoid a disaster. Before I jump into the review, if you want to support the channel, there's a couple ways that you can do it. One, you can subscribe. I would greatly appreciate that. Also, make sure you like and comment, share your thoughts about the review and the movie.
Have we seen DEFCON 2 before? No.
Is this real?
STRATCOM is asking for launch instructions right now. I'm gonna need you to breathe.
We are talking about hitting a bullet with a bullet.
So Kathryn Bigelow is back with her first movie since 2017's Detroit, and it's definitely a return to the types of movies that she does well, political thrillers. A House of Dynamite is taking a look at what would happen if the United States was faced with a potential attack that could lead to nuclear war. The movie is divided into 3 chapters that follow the same series of events, but from different angles as everyone tries to figure out what to do. All of the characters, from soldiers on a military base to government officials in Washington, D.C., are trying to answer different questions so they know how to respond. Where did the missile come from? Was it part of a drill or an actual attack? Where will it hit? Will there be damage and or casualties? And most importantly, should they retaliate or should they wait to see what happens until they have more information? The movie creates a scenario that is intense and gripping, but it's also incredibly terrifying, especially when you consider how a similar situation could play out in real life. What really adds to the tension is that this all takes place over an 18-minute period. So it's basically a race against the clock to avoid catastrophe. And that whole time is filled with miscommunication, disagreements on what to do, and a lot of ambiguity. It's actually pretty remarkable how this movie is able to keep things interesting and engaging, considering that a lot of this is set in offices and rooms where characters are watching things unfold on monitors, or they're communicating with each other via video chat or on the phone. Now, some of the credit has to go to the sharp editing and the amazing sound design, which helps ramp up the tension. The repetitive story structure does cause the movie to lose some steam after a while, but what helped keep things interesting was being able to see the situation from different perspectives. So new characters get introduced in each chapter, or you get scenes that show you an extended view from the characters that you've already been introduced to. So for example, a conversation that you heard in the first chapter might be a little longer in the next chapter, or have a different jumping off point that gives you more information about what's going on. This movie has an amazing ensemble cast that really hold everything together. Not everyone gets a lot of screen time or is fully utilized, but there were some performances that really stood out. Rebecca Ferguson plays Captain Olivia Walker, a senior officer in the Situation Room who is trying to keep everyone calm and focused, while she's also trying to keep her own emotions from getting the best of her. And Ferguson is able to capture the character's vulnerability by allowing the cracks to show every once in a while, like when there's an uneasiness in her voice when she's trying to reassure a colleague, or when she hesitates in a crucial moment. Tracy Letts is General Brady, a senior military officer who wants more action and less talk. And Letts is great at bringing this really intimidating presence in every scene that he's in. Jared Harris brings a good dose of emotion and sincerity as the Secretary of Defense, and his storyline is really heartbreaking. And then you have Idris Elba giving a very measured performance as a president who is really starting to feel the weight of the very important decision that he has to make in order to avoid a catastrophe. I honestly didn't have any major complaints about the movie. I was completely invested in it up until the end. This was probably one of the most unsatisfying endings I've seen in a while, and it honestly ruined my overall enjoyment of the movie. I'm not going to spoil anything, but for me, the movie had this really excellent buildup, all this tension. And then the ending happens and it offered no payoff. And that's pretty much all I'm going to say about that. A House of Dynamite is a well-made movie. It's well acted. And it poses some really interesting questions about geopolitics and the threats of nuclear war. But the movie starts to stumble towards the end, and how you feel about the overall movie will probably greatly depend on how you feel about the ending. So those are my thoughts on A House of Dynamite, which is actually a Netflix movie, but it's going to be released in theaters on October 10th for a very short theatrical run before hitting Netflix on October 24th. Do you plan on seeing the movie in theaters and or on Netflix? Let me know in the comments. While you're here, like and subscribe, and of course stick around for more videos like this.